Do you believe the word obesity is a slur? Is the concept of obesity used to exact violence on fat people?
No.
Well,
This was not a gender studies class. This was a medical school teaching future doctors that obesity language was violence.
Dr. Dubinette, in 2021, the UCLA School of Medicine had a curriculum titled Healer, Educator, Advocate, Leader, Scholar, HEALS. HEALS featured a required DEA-themed course during students' first year known as Structural Racism and Health Equity.
I think she meant DEI.
Which focused on non-medicalized expertise and also strongly urged students to engage in activism. One class session entitled, quote, Colonialism and the Role of Medicine and Race, end quote, included the theory that all capitalism is, quote, racial capitalism. Can you explain what racial capitalism is and why this theory was taught in a first-year medical school course?
No, Congresswoman. As I stated, this course was stopped long before this committee's inquiry, in that we determined that some of the content was not appropriate for a medical school curriculum. And so,
why was it begun?
Why was it there?
The intent of this was to address the social determinants of health, which are important and required in medical education.
Well, then I'm going to jump ahead. Do you believe the word obesity is a slur? Is the concept of obesity used to exact violence on fat people?
No.
Well, the UCLA Medical School's required first-year DEA class taught both claims in a required reading. Do you still do that?
The course has been eliminated.
Okay.
Why was it there?
Can you explain how teaching first-year medical students about colonialism and race helps them provide the best health outcomes for their future patients?
Our goal is to have a content that is scientifically based, clinically relevant, and important for the realities of patient care. It is important that among that the students understand the social drivers of health and be able to help their patients no matter who they are.
So, Dr. Dubinette, another structural racism and health equity course lauded the Young Lords and Black Panther parties, both radical violent groups, for being unique and extraordinary. It described both as role models for UCLA's structural racism and health equity curriculum. Are the Young Lords and Black Panther parties appropriate role models for medical students?
Well, as I mentioned, well before this committee's inquiry, we determined that some of its contents were not appropriate for a medical school curriculum.
So, answer the question. Are they appropriate role models for medical students? Yes or no?
No, we think that our goal is to focus.
How did teaching first-year medical students about violent political groups help those future doctors provide the best health outcomes for their patients?
Following our review of the course, we stopped the course and created a new one to address social determinants of health.
Dr. Hawgood, I'm going to go back to this issue of obesity. Is health independent of size or weight? Yes or no?
Obesity affects health. For instance, the incidence of type 2 diabetes is higher in obese patients, but obesity as an independent indicator is a more complicated story.
You said in your opening remarks that courses are grounded in biology. UCSF's required first-year DEI class taught that health is independent of size and weight. Another session of that class at UCSF taught that, quote, there is no standard definition of health or wellness. Do you agree with that claim?
I would need to understand the context in which that statement was said. It was obviously within a broader lecture. The definition of health is a complex issue based on both populations and individuals. So I think teaching our medical students nuance is a very important issue.
So are you examining the curriculum there?
I think that's
to
fair,
make
the nuance
sure
idea.
That all of your curriculum is consistent with courses grounded in biology?
We are, Congressman. We use standards that all of our curriculum must be evidence-based, grounded in science, and related directly to patient care or patient outcomes.
And when did you come
Gentlelady's
to that
time has
epiphany?
expired. I'll have to move on. I now recognize the gentlelady from Oregon, Ms. Bonamici.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to each of the witnesses for all you are doing to improve healthcare, particularly to have physicians to meet the needs of our constituents. I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here today. I just want to comment on what Mr. Courtney talked about. We should be discussing breaking down barriers to access to higher education. That would be a conversation worth having. And I'll also note that the message we got this morning here as the committee started is that somehow blaming diversity, equity, inclusion for anti-Semitism, which of course misses a whole lot of history and nuance, predating DEI for centuries, and using anti-Semitism as a pretext to dismantle DEI programs is hugely problematic and also deeply disappointing. We're at a pretty critical time in American healthcare right now. I just have had conversations at home about concerns that are across the district I represent in Oregon, particularly about the Medicaid cuts. That's what we should be talking about today.
Okay, guys, I think we're good. Hold on. All right, so I just wanted to make sure that I heard basically everything that we had to hear here today here. The woman towards the end here, we get it, common typical CNN, MSNBC type of talking points with basically saying, no, all of the things that were basically mentioned are in fact needed within the medical school because it's important for some reason here. All right, listen, guys, I have been fat for a long time, okay? Listen, I have now, I'm to the point where I've now lost about 172 pounds, okay? This is over the last year and a half, okay? I understand what being fat boy feels like, okay? What it is. I'm still not where I need to be mentally here, physically. Obviously, we know where this is all coming from. This is coming from like the fatphobia people that are all over like TikTok, generally gigantic, women making videos saying that they should be looked at the same as, I don't know, Victoria's Secret model size 4. Don't look at me different, but I'm different, but don't look at me different. Come on, all right? Stop the nonsense, okay? Just stop the nonsense. Then, of course, we're hearing UCLA, obviously, and then the woman towards the end, she's from Oregon. This is the whole West Coast. They seem to all have the same overall ideology where you cannot hold people accountable, all right? Listen, you've got to that size for many reasons here, all right? You can say, oh, it's the medication, oh, it's all of this, it's all of this, it's all of this literal nonsense, guys. Listen, it's calories in, calories out, all right? Period. Like if you do not have the overall daily activity, okay, understand this here, to afford the 2,000 calories a day, then maybe you should not be consuming 2,000 calories a day. All right, period. That's how that works going forward. Calories in, calories out. All right. Is every single person that is like super morbidly or morbidly obese here, are they unhealthy by default? No. That's where some of the arguments will happen where you cannot say kind of by default that because someone is that size, right, they are massively unhealthy. They're living a very unhealthy lifestyle. It will catch up to them eventually. Maybe they just have not been affected by it large scale yet. That's the truth of the matter here. But is it an indicator? Like some things that are tied directly to super morbidly and morbidly obese people? Yes. But is it everyone? No. That's why I agreed specifically when it came down to the idea of nuance being used here. All right. Now, the social aspect of medicine is weird to me, though. It sounds like you're teaching the future doctors that you need to be very cautious with some people, right? Mainly, we're talking about the West Coast, so we're also most likely bringing in the idea that there may be someone, all right, that outwardly appears as one thing, but you have to check the prostate, okay? That's most likely the social part that they're really focusing on. Because that's the only thing I can really think of. That and not offending like the fat phobia type of people, right? Like it's probably that. It's one of the two things. That's what they're talking about, bro. right? Listen, respect people. It is what it is here. Do whatever you want with yourself. Happy for you, right? Don't teach other people your nonsense, though, but happy for you. Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime here, I'll go and catch you guys later.